Monday, July 6th, 2026. Today's World News Headline Summary. 1. CNN. 1-1. 19-year-old killed and 6 others injured in July 4th Florida teen takeover. A tragic shooting occurred in downtown Pensacola, Florida during the 4th of July celebrations, resulting in the death of a 19-year-old man and leaving 6 others injured. Police described the chaotic incident as a teen takeover, where hundreds of youths engaged in frightening behavior and launched fireworks at bystanders. Despite an increased police presence of 50 extra officers in anticipation of the holiday, the violence still escalated early Sunday morning. Authorities are currently searching for the gunman responsible for what they believe was a targeted attack. The local police chief emphasized that the grieving mother deserves justice, urging parents to closely monitor their children to prevent such tragedies. Mass gatherings organized on social media have become an increasingly concerning trend nationwide. Vocabulary. Tragic. Adjective. 비극적인, 참혹한. The tragic accident left the whole community in shock. Incident. Noun. 사건, 사고. Police are investigating the incident that occurred last night. Escalate. Verb. 악화되다, 확대되다. The minor argument escalated into a serious physical fight. Bystander. Noun. 구경꾼, 행인. Innocent bystanders were injured during the sudden riot. Anticipation. Noun. 예상, 기대. They bought extra food in anticipation of a large crowd. Targeted. Adjective. 표적이 된, 겨냥한. The attack was highly targeted and meticulously planned. Grieve. Verb. 슬퍼하다, 애도하다. The family needs time to grieve after their sudden loss. Justice. Noun. 정의, 공정. The victims' families are demanding justice in the courtroom. 시사 용어 해설. teen takeover. 텐데들의 거리 점령. 텐데나 청년들이 소셜미디어를 통해 특정 시간과 장소를 정해 대규모로 모이는 현상을 말합니다. 원래 단순한 플래시몹이었으나 최근 상점 약탈이나 총기 사고 등 범죄로 번지는 경우가 많아 심각한 사회 문제입니다.
1-2. Trump's administration won't seek new bids to repair the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. The Trump administration announced it will not seek new bids to repair the damaged Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, maintaining its current contractors. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum stated that the same company will be used because they did a fantastic job, despite recent vandalism and algae issues. President Donald Trump had initially pledged to beautify the pool before the nation's 250th birthday celebrations on July 4th. However, questions continue to loom over the no-bid contracts awarded to vendors with prior ties to the president. Democratic lawmakers are currently investigating the multi-million-dollar project, demanding a full explanation of how the failures occurred and who will be held accountable. The ongoing debate has inflamed a broader political fight over overhauling Washington landmarks. Vocabulary. Bid. Noun. 입찰. Several construction companies submitted a bid for the project. Vandalism. Noun. 기물파손죄. The park was closed due to severe vandalism overnight. Pledge. Verb. 약속하다. 맹세하다. The government pledged to increase funding for public schools.
Loom. Verb. 어렴풋이 보이다. 위기 등이 다가오다. Dark clouds loomed on the horizon before the heavy storm. Vendor. Noun. 판매자. 공급업체. The city council signed a contract with a new software vendor. Accountable. Adjective. 책임이 있는. Managers must be held accountable for their team's performance. Inflame. Verb. 흥분시키다. 악화시키다. His harsh words only inflamed the already tense situation. Overhaul. Verb. 전면 개조하다. 점검하다. The mechanic had to overhaul the car's entire engine. 시사 용어 해설. No bid contract. 수의 계약. 경쟁 입찰 과정을 거치지 않고 발주자가 특정 업체를 임의로 선택하여 맺는 계약입니다. 빠르고 효율적일 수 있으나 특혜나 비리의 온상이 될 수 있어 종종 정치적 논란의 대상이 됩니다.
1-3. Jet fuel prices are dropping, but airfares aren't. Here are 10 reasons to stay home in the U.S. Despite a noticeable drop in jet fuel prices, passenger airfares remain stubbornly high, prompting many Americans to consider domestic travel. As the United States celebrates its 250th anniversary, CNN Travel has highlighted compelling reasons to explore the nation's people and places rather than flying abroad. A spectacular flotilla of tall ships and military vessels is making its way up the Atlantic coast as part of the summer-long Sail 250 event, stopping in major cities like New York and Boston. On land, the world's largest operating steam locomotive is embarking on an epic month-long journey across the country. While an intense heat wave is hitting several regions hard, crowds of enthusiastic fans are still gathering to witness these historic celebrations. Vocabulary. Noticeably. Adverb. Noticeably. Tourismly. The weather has become noticeably colder this week. Stubbornly. Adverb. Gozipsrupka. Wangang. Inflation remained stubbornly high despite the new policies. Domestic. Adjective. 국내야. 가정아. Domestic tourism has surged since international borders closed. Compelling. Adjective. 설득력 있는. 눈을 뗄 수 없는. The lawyer presented a compelling argument to the jury. Spectacular. Adjective. 장관을 이루는. 극적인. The fireworks display over the harbor was truly spectacular. Flotilla. Noun. 소함대. 선단. A flotilla of small boats guided the giant cruise ship into port. Embark. Verb. 착수하다. 배에 승선하다. She is about to embark on a new career in photography. Enthusiastic. Adjective. 열렬한. 열정적인. The crowd gave an enthusiastic cheer for the winning team. 시사 용어 해설. Jet fuel. 항공유. 제트 엔진을 장착한 항공기를 움직이게 하는 연료입니다. 일반적으로 유가가 내리면 항공권 가격의 유류 할증료가 인하되어야 하지만 수요 증가나 인건비 등 복합적인 이유로 항공권 가격이 즉각 떨어지지 않는 경우가 많습니다. BBC 2-1. Hong Kong's Sound of Silence. 6 years under the national security law. 6 years after Beijing firmly imposed the controversial national security law, a profound sound of silence has fallen over Hong Kong. Many of the city's once vibrant opposition voices and pro-democracy activists have completely gone silent due to fear of prosecution. The legislation, initially introduced to restore order, has fundamentally altered the political and social landscape of the financial hub. Independent journalists and political commentators look back at what has drastically changed, noting the severe suppression of civil liberties. This sweeping law has been used to arrest numerous dissidents, effectively dismantling the political opposition. The international community continues to observe these developments with deep concern regarding human rights and freedom of expression. Vocabulary. Impose. Verb. 부과하다. 강제하다. The government decided to impose strict new trade sanctions. Profound. Adjective. 깊은. 심오한. The speech had a profound impact on everyone in the audience. Vibrant. Adjective. 활기찬. 생동감 넘치는. The city is known for its vibrant nightlife and rich culture. Prosecution. Noun. 기소. 고발. He faces prosecution for alleged financial fraud. Fundamentally. Adverb. 근본적으로. 본질적으로. The new technology will fundamentally change how we work. Suppression. Noun. 억압. 진압. The brutal suppression of the protests sparked international outrage. Dissident. Noun. 반체제 인사. The writer was known as a prominent political dissident. Dismantle. Verb. 해체하다. 분해하다. The mechanic had to dismantle the engine to find the problem. 시사 용어 해설. National Security Law. 국가보안법. 홍콩 내 반국가적 활동. 국가 분열, 정권 전복, 테러 활동,
외국 세력과의 결탁 등을 처벌할 수 있도록 2020년 중국 정부가 직접 제정한 법률입니다. 이로 인해 홍콩의 민주주의와 표현의 자유가 크게 위축되었다는 평가를 받습니다. 2.2. Iran and U.S. agree deal to end war. U.S. President Donald Trump has officially confirmed reports that the United States and Iran have successfully reached a historic deal to end the ongoing war. Announcing the breakthrough on Truth Social, Trump enthusiastically urged the global shipping industry to let the oil flow. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Kazem Garibabadi also corroborated the finalization of the agreement during a phone call broadcast on state television. The fragile ceasefire, which had been severely tested by recent missile and drone strikes in the Gulf, appears to have held long enough to secure diplomacy. The official signing ceremony for this landmark peace treaty is reportedly scheduled to happen in Switzerland on Friday. This deal is expected to significantly stabilize the volatile Middle East and restore global energy supply chains. Vocabulary. Historic. Adjective. 역사적인. The summit marked a historic turning point in bilateral relations. Breakthrough. Noun. 돌파구. 큰 발전. Scientists announced a major breakthrough in cancer research. Corroborate. Verb. 입증하다. 확증하다. Multiple witnesses corroborated the suspect's alibi. Fragile. Adjective. 부서지기 쉬운, 취약한. The economy is still in a very fragile state after the crisis. Ceasefire. Noun. 휴전, 정전. The UN negotiated a temporary ceasefire to deliver humanitarian aid. Landmark. Adjective. 기념비적인, 획기적인. The court's decision was a landmark ruling for civil rights. Stabilize. Verb. 안정시키다. The central bank intervened to stabilize the plunging currency. Volatile. Adjective. 변동성이 큰, 불안정한. The stock market has been highly volatile over the past month. 시사 용어 해설. 휴전, 정전. 교전 중인 국가나 단체가 적대 행위를 일시적 또는 영구적으로 중단하기로 합의하는 것입니다. 종전, end of war로 가는 중요한 디딤돌이 됩니다. 걸프, 페르시아만. 세계 원유 매장량의 상당 부분이 집중된 중동의 바다로 특히 원유 수송로인 호르무즈 해협, Strait of Hormuz가 포함되어 있어 지정학적, 경제적으로 가장 중요한 해역 중 하나입니다. 2-3. Religion News, 6 July 2026. The UK government has officially announced plans to incorporate religious education, RE, into the new national curriculum, following an unprecedented consensus with various faith groups. Currently, RE sits outside the standard national curriculum, which has led to significant local variations and a postcode lottery of educational provision. The new proposal aims to establish comprehensive national standards and unified study programs for children from Key Stage 1 to 4. However, schools will still retain some freedom to build upon these foundational requirements to suit their local contexts. Educational leaders have warmly welcomed this decision, stating it will finally place RE on an equal footing with other major academic subjects. Vocabulary. Incorporate. Verb. 포함하다, 통합하다. We will incorporate your feedback into the final report. Unprecedented. Adjective. 전례 없는, 미증유해. The pandemic caused an unprecedented economic crisis globally. Consensus. Noun. 합의, 의견 일치. The committee finally reached a consensus after hours of debate. Variation. Noun. 변화, 차이, 편차. There is a wide variation in housing prices across the city. Provision. Noun. 공급, 제공, 대비. The government improved the provision of healthcare in rural areas. Comprehensive. Adjective. 포괄적인, 종합적인. The school offers a comprehensive guide for international students. Retain. Verb. 유지하다, 보유하다. You must retain your receipt to get a full refund. Footing. Noun. 발판, 기반, 지위. The two companies are now competing on an equal footing. 주요 용어 해설. National Curriculum, 국가 교육과정. 국가가 전국의 학교에서 필수적으로 가르치도록 규정한 학습 목표입니다. 이에 포함되면 다른 주요 과목들과 동등한 예산 및 평가 기준을 적용받게 됩니다.
postcode lottery, 우편번호 복권, 거주하는 지역, 우편번호에 따라 제공받는 공공서비스, 교육, 의료 등의 질이나 혜택이 복권 당첨처럼 크게 달라지는 불평등한 상황을 비판할 때 쓰는 영국의 시사용어입니다.
3. ABC Australia 3.1. Teen conservationist becomes national voice for a species most Australians have never heard of. A newly premiered documentary titled Love Letter to the Unseen highlights the passionate efforts of Australian youth conservationist Spencer Hitchin to save the endangered Maugean skate. This ancient marine species, found nowhere else on Earth except Tasmania's Macquarie Harbour, is currently on the brink of extinction due to industrial non-native salmon farming. With only an estimated 1,000 individuals remaining, the skate serves as a crucial test case for Australia's official no new extinctions policy. The film thoughtfully explores the delicate balance between international biodiversity commitments and regional industrial development. Ultimately, the documentary replaces environmental doom with a message of hope, proving that young people are not just future leaders, but are leading right now. Vocabulary. Conservationist. Noun. 환경보호운동가. The conservationist worked tirelessly to save the wetlands. Endangered. Adjective. 멸종위기에 처한. Pandas were once considered highly endangered species. Marine. Adjective. 바다에, 해양에. The museum has a vast collection of marine biology specimens. Brink. Noun. 직전. 끝. 가장자리. The company was on the brink of bankruptcy before the buyout. Non-native. Adjective. 외래. 토착이 아닌. Non-native plants can severely disrupt the local ecosystem. Biodiversity. Noun. 생물 다양성. Protecting the rainforest is essential for maintaining biodiversity. Commitment. Noun. 약속, 헌신, 전념. She made a strong commitment to finish the project on time. Doom. Noun. 파멸, 비관적인 운명. The persistent rain brought a sense of gloom and doom. 시사용어 해설. Biodiversity commitment. 생물 다양성 보호 약속. 자연 서식지와 다양한 생물종이 멸종하지 않도록 국가 차원에서 법과 제도를 통해 보호하겠다는 국제적 협약 및 약속을 의미합니다. 3.2. True Crime Podcast covers the complex mushroom case daily. The Australian true crime podcast, The Case Of, has garnered an overwhelming response from listeners for providing unprecedented insight into the country's complex criminal judicial system. The series meticulously follows gripping trials, including the mushroom case, where prosecutors faced the difficult task of proving guilt using mostly circumstantial evidence. Court reporters and journalists dive deep into decades-old cold cases and high-profile murders to explain intricate courtroom dramas. By breaking down defense arguments and prosecution strategies, the podcast demystifies the legal process for the general public. The show also actively engages with its audience by answering direct questions via email, making it highly interactive. Vocabulary. Garner. Verb. 얻다. 모으다. The new policy garnered support from various political parties. Unprecedented. Adjective. 전례 없는. The internet has provided unprecedented access to information. Meticulously. Adverb. 꼼꼼하게. 세심하게. The detective meticulously examined the crime scene for clues. Gripping. Adjective. 주의를 끄는. 흥미로운. It was a gripping novel that I couldn't put down until the end. Circumstantial. Adjective. 정황적인. The jury convicted him based entirely on circumstantial evidence. Intricate. Adjective. 얽힌. 복잡한. The watch mechanism is incredibly intricate and delicate. Demystify. Verb. 신비성을 없애다. 이해하기 쉽게 하다. The teacher used simple examples to demystify complex math formulas. Interactive. Adjective. 상호작용하는. Modern museums use interactive displays to engage young visitors. 시사용어 해설. Circumstantial evidence. 정황 증거. 범행을 직접적으로 증명하는 증거. CCTV, 목격자 등가 아니라 범행 전후의 상황이나 간접적인 사실들을 통해 범죄가 일어났음을 추론하게 만드는 증거입니다. Number 3. 4. Regional Australians struggling with internet connectivity after Independent Support Service lost funding.
Regional Australians are facing significant challenges with mobile and internet connectivity following the loss of federal funding for a crucial independent support service. Telecommunication giants like Telstra and TPG Telecom are simultaneously warning of imminent mobile price hikes, attributing the increase to recent regulatory decisions regarding spectrum costs. Consumer advocacy groups strongly dispute this, arguing that spectrum expenses should not justify passing heavier financial burdens onto customers. Furthermore, local telcos are fiercely clashing with Elon Musk's SpaceX over the allocation of satellite spectrum. SpaceX has threatened to withhold its Starlink services from Australia if it is not granted priority access to crucial wireless airspace. Vocabulary. Connectivity. Noun. 연결성. 통신망 접속. Fast internet connectivity is crucial for remote workers. Imminent. Adjective. 임박한. 금방이라도 닥칠 듯한. Black clouds indicated that a heavy storm was imminent. Attribute. Verb. 애 탓으로 돌리다. He attributed his academic success to his parents' support. Regulatory. Adjective. 규제. 통제하는. New regulatory measures will be introduced to control emissions. Advocacy. Noun. 옹호. 지지. The organization is known for its advocacy of animal rights. Dispute. Verb. 반박하다. 이의를 제기하다. The worker disputed the manager's claim regarding the error. Fiercely. Adverb. 맹렬하게. 치열하게. The rival companies competed fiercely for the government contract. Withhold. Verb. 보류하다. 주지 않다. The employer decided to withhold his bonus due to poor performance. 시사용어 해설. Spectrum. 스펙트럼 주파수 대역. 통신 서비스. 휴대폰, 위성 인터넷 등을 제공하기 위해 공중으로 전파를 쏠 수 있는 무선 대역을 뜻합니다. 주파수는 한정된 국가 자원이기 때문에 통신사들은 이를 낙찰받기 위해 막대한 비용을 지불하며 이 할당 방식을 두고 정부와 기업 간 갈등이 흔히 발생합니다. 4. The Korea Times. 4.1. White House official says Coupang singled out by Lee government, warns against unfair trade practices. The ruling Democratic Party of Korea, DPK, expressed strong regret over a recent U.S. congressional report that accused South Korea of discriminating against American-owned companies like Coupang. The international dispute began when Korean authorities imposed a record $4.9 million penalty on the e-commerce giant following a massive data leak affecting over 33 million users. While the U.S. House Judiciary Committee claimed this action was an unfair, discriminatory attack, Korean officials maintained that domestic privacy laws are strictly applied without regard to corporate nationality. The DPK heavily criticized Coupang's response to the privacy breach and vigorously defended its regulatory sovereignty. This incident strongly highlights the growing friction between national legal authority and the political reach of global multinational corporations. Vocabulary. Regret. Noun. 유감. 후회. The Prime Minister expressed deep regret over the tragic incident. Accuse. Verb. 비난하다. 고발하다. He was accused of leaking confidential company information. Discriminate. Verb. 차별하다. It is illegal for employers to discriminate based on gender or race. Penalty. Noun. 과징금. 벌칙. The regulatory board imposed a heavy penalty on the bank. Massive. Adjective. 거대한. 대규모의. The earthquake caused massive destruction in the coastal town. Breach. Noun. 위반. 침해. 유출. The security breach compromised the personal data of millions. Sovereignty. Noun. 주권. 통치권. The nation fought a long war to defend its territorial sovereignty. Friction. Noun. 마찰. 갈등. Trade tariffs often cause significant friction between allied nations. 시사용어 해설. Digital sovereignty, 디지털 주권. 한 국가가 자국 국민의 데이터와 디지털 인프라에 대해 독자적인 통제권과 사법권을 갖는 것을 말합니다.
4.2. Government eyes new fund to invest tax windfall from AI-driven chip boom. The South Korean government is strategically planning to establish a new investment fund financed by unexpected tax windfalls generated from the ongoing artificial intelligence-driven semiconductor boom. Major tech chip makers have reported astronomical profits due to soaring global demand for AI technology, leading to significantly higher corporate tax revenues than initially forecasted. Policymakers intend to utilize this massive surplus to actively reinvest in the nation's critical infrastructure and emerging high-tech industries. By channeling these excess funds back into strategic sectors, the government hopes to secure long-term economic sustainability. This proactive fiscal approach highlights Korea's determination to maintain its competitive edge in the rapidly evolving global tech landscape. Vocabulary. Windfall. Noun. 뜻밖의 횡재, 예기치 않은 수익. The company received a tax windfall due to new government policies. Semiconductor. Noun. 반도체. The shortage of semiconductor chips affected car production globally. Astronomical. Adjective. 천문학적인, 방대한. The cost of building the new space station is astronomical. Soaring. Adjective. 급증하는, 치솟는. The airline reported soaring profits during the summer holiday season. Forecast. Verb. 예측하다, 예보하다. Analysts forecast a steady growth in the real estate market. Surplus. Noun. 흑자, 잉여금. The national budget showed a surplus for the first time in a decade. Sustainability. Noun. 지속 가능성. Companies are adopting green energy to ensure environmental sustainability. Competitive edge. Noun. 경쟁 우위. Continuous innovation gives our brand a strong competitive edge. 주, 시사용어 해설. Tax windfall. 초과세수, 세수 횡재. 정부가 연초에 예상했던 세금 수입 목표치보다 실제 거친 세금이 훨씬 많을 때 발생하는 잉여 자금을 뜻합니다. 기업들의 이익이 급증할 때 주로 발생합니다. 4.3. Lee says mega development projects are for future, not approval ratings. President Lee Jae-myung firmly rejected fierce criticism from opposition parties, claiming that the government's large-scale regional investment drive is a political ploy aimed merely at boosting his approval ratings. During a recent public address, Lee emphatically stated that the administration's 3 mega projects are strategically designed to create profound new hope and a robust future for the entire country. This decisive response comes amid a series of ambitious development announcements, including plans to transform the Chongcheong region into a massive hub for AI-led innovation. The president stressed that authentic, forward-looking statecraft requires undertaking bold initiatives that transcend short-term political gains. He reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to aggressively pursuing balanced regional development despite mounting political pushback. Vocabulary. Reject. Verb. 거부하다, 일축하다. The manager rejected the proposal because it was too expensive. ploy. Noun. 술책, 계략. The sudden discount was just a marketing ploy to attract new customers. Emphatically. Adverb. 강력하게, 단호하게. She emphatically denied the rumors surrounding her resignation. Robust. Adjective. 탄탄한, 튼튼한. The country needs a more robust economic strategy to survive the crisis. Transcend. Verb. 초월하다, 능가하다. True art should transcend cultural and linguistic boundaries. Reaffirm. Verb. 재확인하다. The president reaffirmed his commitment to reducing carbon emissions. Unwavering. Adjective. 확고한, 변함없는. She has my unwavering support no matter what challenges arise. Pushback. Noun. 반발, 저항. The controversial new policy faced immediate pushback from the public. 시사 용어 해설. Approval rating. 국정 지지도, 지지율. 국민들이 현직 대통령이나 정부의 직무 수행에 대해 긍정적으로 평가하는 비율입니다. 메가 프로젝트, 메가 프로젝트. 수조 원 이상의 막대한 예산이 투입되고 완성까지 오랜 시간이 걸리는 초대형 국가 인프라 및 국토개발 사업을 뜻합니다.
5. The Korea Herald. 5-1. Korea sets out stall as global heritage rulemaker. South Korea is actively preparing to host the upcoming UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting in Busan, marking its first time chairing the prestigious annual gathering. Korea Heritage Service Administrator Ho Min sees this as a unique opportunity to reposition the country as a leading global voice in shaping international discussions on heritage conservation. Facing mounting global threats, such as severe climate change and armed conflicts, Korea plans to formally propose the Busan Declaration. This declaration strongly urges stronger international collaboration to protect vulnerable cultural sites. Through this significant event, Korea hopes to move beyond merely listing its own sites and take a highly proactive role as a rulemaker, safeguarding humanity's shared history. Vocabulary. Prestigious. Adjective. 권위 있는, 명망 있는. She won a scholarship to a highly prestigious university. Reposition. Verb. 위치를 바꾸다, 재설정하다. The brand aims to reposition itself to attract younger consumers. Conservation. Noun. 보존, 보호. Wildlife conservation is essential for balancing the ecosystem.
Mounting. Adjective. 증가하는, 커져가는. There is mounting pressure on the CEO to resign immediately. Vulnerable. Adjective. 취약한, 연약한. The old bridge is highly vulnerable to strong earthquakes. Formally. Adverb. 공식적으로, 정식으로. The two countries will formally sign the peace treaty next week. Merely. Adverb. 단지, 그저. He didn't complain. He merely stated the actual facts. Proactive. Adjective. 주도적인, 사전 예방적인. The company took a proactive approach to prevent cyber attacks. 시사용어 해설. Rulemaker. 규칙 제정자. 국제사회에서 단순히 남이 만든 규칙을 따르는 것, rule taker가 아니라 글로벌 기준과 의제를 스스로 설정하고 이끄는 주도적인 국가를 의미합니다.
5-2. Samsung and LG's next China battle. Robot vacuums. Once considered a niche appliance, robot vacuum cleaners have rapidly evolved into a crucial battlefield for tech giants Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics. Both South Korean companies are facing intense pressure as aggressive Chinese rivals increasingly dominate the domestic market with cost-effective yet highly advanced models. The booming demand for automated home cleaning devices serves as a major test of whether Korea's traditional home appliance leaders can successfully regain their lost ground. To counter the Chinese influx, Samsung and LG are heavily investing in sophisticated AI features, superior obstacle recognition, and premium customer service. Industry experts predict that the ongoing competition will dramatically accelerate technological innovations in smart home ecosystems. Vocabulary. Niche. Noun. 틈새 시장. He found a profitable niche in selling handmade leather goods. Appliance. Noun. 가정용 기기, 가전제품. Modern kitchen appliances make cooking much faster and easier. Intense. Adjective. 강렬한, 치열한. The intense competition forced the company to lower its prices. Dominate. Verb. 장악하다, 지배하다. The tech giant continues to dominate the global smartphone market. Automated. Adjective. 자동화된. The factory uses an automated system to assemble the cars. Regain. Verb. 되찾다, 회복하다. The army fought hard to regain control of the captured territory. Sophisticated. Adjective. 정교한, 세련된. The new jet features highly sophisticated navigation software. Accelerate. Verb. 가속화하다. The government's new policies will accelerate economic growth. 시사용어 해설.
5-3. Editorial. Digital sovereignty. A recent editorial from the Korea Herald forcefully argues that Washington's claims regarding Coupang inappropriately politicize South Korea's lawful enforcement of domestic privacy rules. The editorial emphasizes that every era possesses its own measure of national sovereignty, and today it is undeniably the authority to govern data.
It firmly rejects the U.S. narrative that Seoul's legitimate consumer protection investigation is an act of targeted discrimination against American firms. The piece points out that domestic tech giants like Naver and Kakao have faced similar harsh penalties for comparable failures, proving the laws are applied equally. If multinational corporate lobbying successfully recasts legal enforcement as a geopolitical dispute, digital sovereignty will ultimately exist merely in theory. Vocabulary. Inappropriately. Adverb. 부적절하게. The manager behaved inappropriately during the serious meeting. Enforcement. Noun. 법률의 집행. 시행. Strict enforcement of traffic laws has significantly reduced accidents. Undeniably. Adverb. 명백하게. 틀림없이. The new symphony is undeniably the composer's greatest masterpiece.
Legitimate. Adjective. 합법적인. 정당한. The citizens have a legitimate right to protest peacefully. Discrimination. Noun. 차별. The company was sued for gender discrimination in its hiring process. Comparable. Adjective. 필적하는. 비슷한. The two laptops offer comparable performance and battery life. Recast. Verb. 재구성하다. 다르게 제시하다. The director decided to recast the play as a modern comedy. Geopolitical. Adjective. 지정학적인. The ongoing war has completely changed the geopolitical landscape. 시사용어 해설. Editorial. 사설. 신문이나 잡지에서 언론사의 공식적인 입장이나 주장을 담아 작성한 논설 기사입니다. Geopolitical dispute. 지정학적 분쟁. 지리적, 경제적 위치 때문에 강대국들 사이에서 벌어지는 정치적, 외교적 힘겨루기나 영토 분쟁을 뜻합니다. 6. CGTN. 6.1. Explainer. How the world can be ready for the next big earthquake. Following the devastating twin earthquakes in Venezuela that tragically killed nearly 3,000 people, global leaders are urgently reassessing natural disaster preparedness. The sudden catastrophe highlighted critical systemic gaps, particularly the complete absence of a national early warning system, which left vulnerable citizens with no time to react. In response to this tragedy, health ministers and emergency planners recently gathered for a major conference in Istanbul, a city itself highly susceptible to seismic activity. Experts sternly warned that basic human needs are skyrocketing as affected cities grapple with massive infrastructural damage and a severe lack of heavy rescue equipment. The summit emphasized the critical necessity of protecting healthcare systems and improving international emergency response mechanisms before the next big tremor strikes. Vocabulary. Devastating. Adjective. 파괴적인, 엄청난 손상을 가하는. A devastating fire destroyed the historical library overnight. Preparedness. Noun. 준비성, 대비태세. The city's disaster preparedness saved many lives during the flood. Catastrophe. Noun. 대참사, 큰 재앙. The oil spill was an environmental catastrophe for the coast. Susceptible. Adjective. 취약한, 민감한. Older people are more susceptible to severe winter colds. Seismic. Adjective. 지진에 의한. The region is known for frequent seismic activity and tremors. Skyrocket. Verb. 급등하다, 치솟다. Gas prices skyrocketed right before the holiday weekend began. Grapple with. Phrasal verb. 뭐뭐와 고심하다, 해결하려고 노력하다. The new government must grapple with high unemployment rates. Tremor. Noun. 진보, 미진. We felt a slight tremor in the floor when the train passed. Early warning system. 우리 경보 시스템. 지진파의 빠른 피파를 먼저 감지하여 파괴적인 S파가 도달하기 수초에서 수십 초 전에 사람들의 휴대폰 등으로 대피 알람을 보내는 첨단 시스템입니다. 6-2. Chinese paddlers win WTT United States Smash women's doubles title. Chinese paddlers Wang Monyu and Kuai Mon celebrated a phenomenal victory by capturing the women's doubles title at the WTT United States Smash in Los Angeles. The top-seeded pair successfully defeated Japan's formidable duo, Hina Hayata and Miwa Harimoto, with a decisive 3-1 score in the finals. After dropping the second game, the Chinese team quickly bounced back to dominate the intense match and lift the prestigious trophy. Adding to China's impressive dominance in the sport, world number 1 Sun Ying-sha and Wang Yidi effortlessly swept their respective opponents to advance to the women's singles semifinals. The tournament clearly demonstrated China's unyielding strength and deep talent pool on the international table tennis calendar. Vocabulary. Paddler. Noun. 탁구 선수. Professional table tennis paddlers train for hours every day. Phenomenal. Adjective. 갱이로운, 놀라운. The young athlete showcased a phenomenal performance at the Olympics. Formidable. Adjective. 가공할 만한, 만만치 않은. The defending champions are a highly formidable opponent. Duo. Noun. 2인조, duo. The dynamic musical duo released their new album yesterday. Bounce back. Phrasal verb. 회복하다, 반등하다. Despite the initial failure, the team quickly bounced back to win. Dominate. Verb. 지배하다, 우위를 차지하다. The leading brand continues to dominate the global market. Effortlessly. Adverb. 쉽게, 노력하지 않고. The skilled dancer effortlessly performed the difficult moves. Unyielding. Adjective. 굽히지 않는, 확고한. She maintained an unyielding determination to achieve her goals. 시사 용어 해설. WTT, World Table Tennis. 국제탁구연맹이 탁구의 사업화와 대중화를 위해 새롭게 출범시킨 국제대회 시리즈입니다. 그랜드 스매시는 WTT 대회 중 가장 등급이 높고 상금이 큰 메이저 대회입니다.
6.3. Tianjin Fantasy Express sees service routes extended. China's first fully immersive cultural tourism train, known as the Tianjin Fantasy Express, has successfully expanded and upgraded its operational routes. As of early July, 2 new significant stops have been added to the itinerary: Guangyang Station in Hebei Province and Tanggu Station in Tianjin. This innovative train uniquely combines conventional transportation with engaging onboard entertainment. Throughout the journey, professional actors host dynamic, interactive performances that directly involve the passengers. This creative approach allows captivating storytelling and sightseeing to unfold simultaneously, providing travelers with a highly memorable and immersive travel experience across the region. Vocabulary. Immersive. Adjective. 몰입형에 애워싸는 듯한. The museum offers a truly immersive virtual reality experience. Operational. Adjective. 운영상에 가동 중인. The new subway line will be fully operational by next month. Itinerary. Noun. 여행 일정표. We carefully planned a detailed itinerary for our trip to Europe. Innovative. Adjective. 혁신적인. The startup introduced an innovative solution to reduce food waste. Conventional. Adjective. 전통적인, 관습적인. He prefers a conventional approach rather than trying new methods. Engaging. Adjective. 매력적인, 흥미를 끄는. The teacher delivered a highly engaging lecture on ancient history. Simultaneous. Adjective. 동시에. There were simultaneous explosions in 3 different cities. Captivating. Adjective. 매혹적인, 마음을 사로잡는. The singer gave a captivating performance that mesmerized the crowd. 시사 용어 해설. Immersive. 몰입형. 단순히 관객이 구경만 하는 것이 아니라 배우와 함께 호흡하거나 가상현실, VR 등을 통해 마치 자신이 그 상황 속에 직접 들어간 것처럼 느끼게 만드는 체험형 콘텐츠를 뜻합니다. 7. NHK World Japan 7-1. Takaichi, Modi, expected to discuss security, energy. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi is rapidly accelerating her diplomatic outreach to build a comprehensive deterrence network across the Indo-Pacific region. In her highly anticipated upcoming discussions with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the core focus will center heavily on economic security, energy stability, and advanced technology cooperation. This strategic move is a fundamental part of Japan's updated Free and Open Indo-Pacific (FOIP) doctrine, which aims to firmly secure supply chain resilience and digital sovereignty. Tokyo is actively seeking to reduce systemic vulnerabilities by engaging deeply with like-minded partner nations across Asia. By reinforcing critical ties in essential areas like rare earths and semiconductors, Japan hopes to preserve its strategic autonomy amid growing external pressures. Vocabulary.
Outreach. Noun. 적극적인 외교활동, 봉사활동. The government's diplomatic outreach improved relations with neighbors. Comprehensive. Adjective. 포괄적인, 종합적인. The doctor gave her a comprehensive physical examination yesterday. Deterrence. Noun. 억제, 초지. Nuclear weapons serve as a psychological deterrence against major wars. Resilience. Noun. 회복력, 탄력. The economy showed remarkable resilience, recovering quickly from the crash. Vulnerability. Noun. 취약성. The software update patches a critical security vulnerability. Engage with. Phrasal verb. 뭐와 관계를 맺다, 교류하다. The mayor regularly engages with local citizens to hear their complaints. Reinforce. Verb. 강화하다, 보강하다. The builder used steel beams to reinforce the concrete walls. Autonomy. Noun. 자율성, 자치권. The local government was granted greater administrative autonomy last year. 시사유무 해설. FOIP. Free and Open Indo-Pacific. 자유롭고 열린 인도 태평양 전략으로 무역과 항행의 자유를 보장하고 특정 국가의 해양 패권을 견제하기 위해 미국, 일본, 호주, 인도 등이 공유하는 거대한 외교안보 구상입니다.
Number 7. 2. Taiwan Coast Guard says China vessels entered waters around Kinmen. Tensions continue to escalate as Taiwan's Coast Guard recently reported that multiple vessels from China's Coast Guard and Maritime Safety Administration entered restricted waters around Kinmen. Taiwanese authorities strongly condemned the incursion, describing the incident as deliberate harassment disguised as routine maritime law enforcement. Defense analysts label these actions as textbook gray zone tactics designed to intimidate Taiwan without provoking a full-scale military conflict. In East Asia, where dense maritime traffic constantly intersects with intense geopolitical rivalry, protecting critical strategic choke points has become paramount. Blocking such narrow passages threatens not only regional stability, but also the continuous flow of global energy, trade, and vital data communications. Vocabulary. Escalate. Verb. 고조되다, 악화되다. The minor argument escalated into a serious physical altercation. Condemn. Verb. 규탄하다, 비난하다. The international community quickly condemned the terrorist attack. Incursion. Noun. 침입, 급습. The border guards successfully repelled a sudden military incursion. Deliberate. Adjective. 고의적인, 의도적인. It was a deliberate attempt to sabotage the ongoing peace talks. Disguise. Verb. 위장하다, 숨기다. The spy disguised himself as a regular tourist to cross the border. Intimidate. Verb. 위협하다, 겁주다. The gang tried to intimidate the key witness before the trial. Choke point. Noun. 교통애, 길목, 요충지. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial choke point for global oil shipments. Paramount. Adjective. 가장 중요한, 최고의. Safety is of paramount importance in any construction site. 시사용어 해설. Gray zone tactics. 회색지대 전술. 명백한 전쟁 블랙도 아니고 완전한 평화 화이트도 아닌 상태 그레이에서 상대방을 지속적으로 괴롭히고 압박하여 피로하게 만드는 전술입니다. 총을 쏘지 않고 무장어선이나 해경선을 보내 영해를 맴도는 행위가 대표적입니다. 7. 3. In South Korea, protesters are demanding an election do-over. Ongoing protests have erupted across South Korea as frustrated voters fiercely demand a complete do-over of the recent nationwide local elections. The intense public outrage was sparked by a severe ballot shortage that occurred at various polling stations during Election Day. Angry citizens argue that this administrative failure directly violated their fundamental right to a fair and transparent democratic election. NHK World covered the escalating demonstrations, noting the deep distrust some voters now feel toward the National Election Commission. The controversy poses a significant political challenge for the government as it attempts to quickly restore public confidence in the integrity of the electoral process. Vocabulary. Erupt. Verb. 분출하다, 폭동 등이 발발하다. Heavy violence erupted on the streets following the controversial verdict.
Do-over. Noun. 다시 하기, 재실행. He messed up the first take and asked the director for a do-over. Outrage. Noun. 격분, 분노. The corruption scandal sparked massive public outrage nationwide. Ballot. Noun. 투표용지, 투표. The officials carefully counted every single ballot cast in the box. Administrative. Adjective. 행정적인, 관리해. The delay was caused by a minor administrative error in the office. Fundamental. Adjective. 기본적인, 근본적인. Freedom of speech is a fundamental human right in a democracy. Distrust. Noun. 불신. There is a growing distrust of mainstream media among young voters. Integrity. Noun. 진실성, 무결성. The judge is widely respected for his unquestionable moral integrity.
8. AlJazeera.com. 8.1. Super Typhoon Bavi threatens Guam with catastrophic winds and flooding. Residents of Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands are currently bracing for the devastating impact of Super Typhoon Bavi. The powerful storm, packing Category 5 hurricane-force winds of up to 260 kilometers per hour, is expected to bring torrential rain and severe coastal inundation to the region. The U.S. National Weather Service issued warnings of extremely dangerous marine conditions, including projected ocean waves reaching the staggering height of a 10-story building. Frightened locals have been moving to emergency shelters and frantically boarding up their properties to minimize structural damage. Weather experts predict that a direct hit could leave certain residential areas totally uninhabitable for weeks due to downed power poles and collapsed structures. Vocabulary. Brace for. Phrasal verb. 뭐뭐에 대비하다. The small coastal town braced for the approaching winter blizzard. Torrential. Adjective. 양동이로 들이붓는 듯한. 맹렬한. Torrential rains caused sudden flash floods in the downtown area. Inundation. Noun. 침수, 범람. The heavy storm caused widespread inundation of farm fields. Staggering. Adjective. 충격적인, 믿기 어려운. The new action movie was produced on a staggering $300 million budget. Frantically. Adverb. 미친 듯이, 다급하게. She searched frantically for her lost car keys this morning. Minimize. Verb. 최소화하다. Wear a seatbelt to minimize the risk of serious injury in a crash. Uninhabitable. Adjective. 사람이 살 수 없는. The toxic chemical spill made the entire village temporarily uninhabitable. Collapse. Verb. 붕괴하다, 무너지다. The old wooden roof finally collapsed under the weight of heavy snow. 중계장면 해설. Coastal inundation. 해안 침수, 폭풍 해일. 태풍의 강한 바람이 바닷물을 밀어올리고 낮은 기압이 수면을 빨아올리면서 거대한 파도가 해안가 마을과 도로를 덮쳐 물에 잠기게 만드는 치명적인 자연재해입니다.
8-2. Osaka knocks out top-seeded Sabalenka to reach Wimbledon quarterfinals. Naomi Osaka secured a stunning straight sets victory over world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka to book her maiden Wimbledon quarterfinal appearance. The revitalized Japanese star delivered a flawless performance, blasting fierce ground strokes from the baseline that left her top-seeded opponent completely out of rhythm. Remarkably, Osaka has yet to drop a single set across her opening 4 matches at the prestigious grass court tournament. On the other side of the net, Sabalenka struggled significantly with the windy conditions, visibly losing her composure and smashing her racket in frustration. The unexpected defeat abruptly halted Sabalenka's impressive streak of reaching 14 consecutive Grand Slam quarterfinals. Vocabulary. Stunning. Adjective. 놀라운, 기절할 만큼 멋진. The team secured a stunning victory in the final seconds of the game. Maiden. Adjective. 최초의, 처녀의. The new cruise ship successfully completed its maiden voyage across the sea. Revitalized. Adjective. 새로운 활력을 얻은.
The revitalized downtown area now attracts thousands of tourists daily.
Flawless. Adjective. 흠잡을 데 없는, 완벽한. The pianist delivered a flawless performance of the difficult sonata. Fierce. Adjective. 맹렬한, 사나운. A fierce storm ripped through the small town last night. Composure. Noun. 평정심, 침착함. She managed to keep her composure despite the aggressive questioning. Abruptly. Adverb. 갑자기, 돌연. The meeting ended abruptly when the fire alarm started ringing loudly. Streak. Noun. 연속, 연승, 연패. The baseball team is currently on a 10-game winning streak. 시사 용어 해설. Grand Slam, 그랜드 슬램. 세계 4대 메이저 테니스 대회, 윈블던, US 오픈, 프랑스 오픈, 호주 오픈을 일컫는 말입니다. 이곳에서 8강, 쿼터파이널스에 연속으로 진출하는 것은 선수의 기량이 매우 꾸준하고 뛰어나다는 것을 증명합니다. 8-3. Mexico vs. England live. FIFA World Cup 2026. Last 16. Tournament co-hosts Mexico are preparing to entertain football heavyweight England in a highly anticipated FIFA World Cup 2026 round of 16 clash. The match, held at the iconic Mexico City Stadium, was originally scheduled to kick off at 6 p.m. local time, but faced a sudden one-hour delay. Organizers were forced to push back the start time due to severe thunderstorms rolling through the area. Mexico confidently enters the match after beating Ecuador 2-0, marking their first World Cup knockout game victory in 40 years. Meanwhile, England, considered one of the tournament favorites, narrowly avoided an upset in their previous match, setting the stage for a dramatic and weather-affected showdown. Vocabulary. Heavyweight. Noun. 거물, 강국, 체급이 높은. The company is a global heavyweight in the electronics manufacturing industry. Clash. Noun. 충돌, 객돌. The fierce clash between the two rival teams ended in a tie. Iconic. Adjective. 상징적인, 우상해. The Eiffel Tower is an iconic landmark of Paris. Push back. Phrasal verb. 미루다, 연기하다. The director decided to push back the release date of the movie. Severe. Adjective. 극심한, 심각한. Severe weather conditions grounded all flights at the airport today. Confidently. Adverb. 자신감 있게. She walked confidently onto the stage to deliver her graduation speech. Upset. Noun. 스포츠의 이변, 예상 밖의 패배. The amateur team's victory over the champions was a massive upset. Showdown. Noun. 마지막 결전, 맞대결. The final debate will be a critical showdown between the two candidates. 시사 용어 해설. Last 16. 16강전. 조별 예선을 통과한 16개 팀이 맞붙는 토너먼트의 첫 관문입니다. 지면 바로 탈락하는 너크아웃, 노가웃 방식이 적용되어 매 경기가 결승전처럼 치열하게 진행됩니다. 9. CBC Canada 9-1. Canadian men's historic World Cup run ends, but achievements can't be overshadowed by loss to Morocco. Canada's men's national soccer team saw their historic FIFA World Cup journey come to an emotional end following a tough 3-0 defeat by Morocco. The highly anticipated knockout match remained a tense 0-0 deadlock until Moroccan midfielder Azzedine Ounahi finally broke through, ultimately shattering the hopes of millions of Canadian fans. Despite this heartbreaking elimination, commentators heavily emphasize that the team's incredible achievements throughout the tournament cannot be overshadowed by a single loss. Reaching the round of 16 officially marked a monumental milestone for Canadian soccer on the competitive global stage. Fans and sports analysts alike are warmly celebrating the squad's resilience and the immense national pride they successfully inspired. Vocabulary. Historic. Adjective. 역사적인, 역사에 남을 만한. The signing of the peace treaty was a truly historic moment. Emotional. Adjective. 감정적인, 감동적인. The player gave an emotional farewell speech to his devoted fans. Deadlock. Noun. 교착 상태, 무승부. The labor negotiations ended in a deadlock with no agreement reached.
shatter, verb, 산산조각내다, 희망을 꺾다.
The sudden bad news completely shattered her dreams of traveling. Elimination, noun,
탈락, 제거.
the team faces elimination if they lose their next crucial match. Overshadow, verb,
빛을 잃게 하다, 가리다.
his recent mistakes overshadow his brilliant performance last year. Monumental, adjective,
기념비적인, 엄청난.
winning an Olympic gold medal is a monumental achievement for any athlete. Inspire, verb,
고무하다, 영감을 주다.
her brave speech inspired many young women to pursue science.
시사용어 해설, deadlock, 대드삭. 스포츠 경기에서 양 팀이 점수를 내지 못하고 팽팽하게 맞서고 있는 0대0 상황이나 무승부 상태를 뜻합니다. 정치나 협상에서는 아무 진전이 없는 교착 상태를 뜻하기도 합니다.
9-2. Brunswick Creek wildfire balloons to 1,200 hectares, forcing evacuations near Boston Bar, BC. A massive, out-of-control wildfire burning in British Columbia's Fraser Canyon has rapidly ballooned to 1,200 hectares in size. The aggressively spreading Brunswick Creek fire has prompted authorities to issue immediate evacuation orders for dozens of residents living near the community of Boston Bar. Firefighters are currently struggling to contain the intense blaze as shifting, unpredictable winds and persistently dry conditions severely hamper their containment efforts. Helicopters and heavy equipment have been deployed to drop water and carve out fire breaks around the threatened properties. The escalating crisis highlights the growing severity of Canada's summer wildfire season, forcing many families to anxiously abandon their homes to seek safety elsewhere. 9-3. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce marry in elaborate ceremony at NYC's Madison Square Garden. Global pop icon Taylor Swift and NFL superstar Travis Kelce have officially tied the knot in a highly elaborate wedding ceremony. The star-studded event took place at New York City's famous Madison Square Garden, transforming the iconic sports arena into a spectacular romantic venue. The high-profile marriage naturally drew immense attention from passionate fans and major media outlets worldwide, eager for a glimpse of the celebration. Prominent figures from both the entertainment industry and the professional sports world gathered to celebrate the couple's heavily publicized romance. Broadcasters enthusiastically described the highly anticipated union as a real-life love story that perfectly bridged the gap between music and athletics. Vocabulary. Tie the knot. Phrasal verb. 결혼하다. After dating for 5 years, they finally decided to tie the knot. Elaborate. Adjective. 정교한, 공들인, 화려한. She wore an elaborate costume decorated with thousands of tiny beads. Star-studded. Adjective. 스타들이 대거 출연하는. The premiere was a star-studded event with many Hollywood actors. Arena. Noun. 경기장, 공연장. The rock band performed their new songs at the packed indoor arena. High profile. Adjective. 세간의 이목을 끄는. The lawyer is known for taking on high-profile corporate scandal cases. Immense. Adjective. 엄청난, 어마어마한. The charity project required an immense amount of time and money. Prominent. Adjective. 저명한, 두드러진. A prominent scientist will deliver the keynote speech at the conference. Bridge the gap. Phrasal verb. 간극을 메우다. The new program aims to bridge the gap between rich and poor students. 사사용어 해설. Tie the knot. 결혼하다. 직역하면 매듭을 묶다라는 뜻으로 두 사람이 인연의 끈으로 단단히 묶여 부부가 된다는 의미를 담고 있는 아주 흔하고 친근한 영어식 관용구입니다. 10. DD India, 10-1. India to host BRICS anti-drug agencies meeting in Guwahati on July 6th-7th. India is proudly set to host the BRICS Heads of Anti-Drug Agencies meeting in Guwahati, Assam, as a significant part of its ongoing international security commitments. The intensive two-day conference aims to seamlessly bring together senior officials from member nations to drastically strengthen global cooperation against illegal drug trafficking. Participants will strategically discuss how to tackle emerging challenges related to severe substance abuse and the booming illegal drug trade across national borders. This pivotal meeting clearly underscores India's highly proactive role in addressing transnational organized crime within the expanding BRICS framework. Collaborative international efforts and rapid intelligence sharing will be the primary focus to successfully disrupt global narcotics networks globally. Agency. Noun. 기관. 대행사. The environmental agency monitors the local river's water quality daily. Trafficking. Noun. 밀매. 불법 거래. The police successfully cracked down on human and drug trafficking rings. Tackle. Verb. 문제와 씨름하다. 다루다. The new president promised to immediately tackle the rising inflation. Substance. Noun. 물질. 약물. The athlete was banned for testing positive for a forbidden substance. Illicit. Adjective. 불법에. The customs officers discovered illicit goods hidden inside the cargo. Transnational. Adjective. 초국가적인, 다국적인. Climate change is a transnational issue that requires global cooperation. Collaborative. Adjective. 협력적인. The successful research was a highly collaborative effort between two universities. Disrupt. Verb. 지장을 주다, 와해시키다. The loud construction noise constantly disrupted the students' morning classes. 시사 용어 해설. BRICS. 브라질, 러시아, 인도, 중국, 남아프리카 공화국 등 신흥 경제 대국들의 모임입니다. 최근 회원국을 확장하며 서방국가, G7 중심의 국제 질서에 대항하는 독자적인 목소리를 내고 있습니다. Substance abuse, 약물 남용, 마약, 알코올, 향정신성 의약품 등을 의학적 목적을 벗어나 과도하게 사용해 심신을 망치는 행위를 가리키는 점잖은 공식적인 법적, 의학적 표현입니다.
10.2. PM Modi to begin 6-day visit to Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is embarking on an extensive 6-day diplomatic tour across Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand to fortify bilateral relationships. The trip officially kicks off in Indonesia, marking his first bilateral visit since the two nations elevated their ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. While in Java, Modi will tour the UNESCO World Heritage-listed Prambanan Temple, beautifully highlighting the deep historical and cultural connections shared between the countries. Afterward, he will travel to Melbourne, Australia, to hold high-level talks with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and participate in a prominent India-Australia CEOs forum. Engaging closely with the vibrant Indian diaspora remains a central pillar of Modi's diplomatic strategy throughout this entire Pacific journey. Vocabulary. Embark on. Phrasal verb. Achaksued. Nasoda. The young adventurer is ready to embark on a dangerous journey alone. Fortify. Verb. 공고히하다. 강화하다. The military quickly fortified the walls to defend against the impending attack. Bilateral. Adjective. 양자이. 쌍방이. The two presidents signed a new bilateral trade agreement yesterday morning. Comprehensive. Adjective. 포괄적인. 종합적인. The university offers a comprehensive guide to help incoming freshmen adapt a war. Highlight. Verb. 강조하다. 돋보이게 하다. The speaker used charts to clearly highlight the company's rapid financial growth. High level. Adjective. 고위급이. High-level executives from both corporations met privately to discuss the merger. Diaspora. Noun. Diaspora. 해외 이주민. The vibrant Irish diaspora in America heavily influenced local music and culture. Pillar. Noun. 기도. 중심축. Honesty and hard work are the fundamental pillars of our corporate philosophy. 시사용어 해설. Diaspora. 본래 유대인들이 세계 각지로 흩어진 것을 의미했으나 현재는 고국을 떠나 다른 나라에 정착해 살면서도 고유한 문화와 정체성을 유지하는 해외 이주민 집단을 포괄적으로 일컫는 말입니다. 인도는 해외에 거주하는 자국민들을 외교적 자산으로 적극 활용하고 있습니다.
10.3. Amit Shah to unveil key cooperative initiatives at Ministry of Cooperation's Foundation Day. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah is preparing to launch a series of groundbreaking initiatives aimed at significantly strengthening India's vast cooperative sector.
Speaking at the Ministry of Cooperation's 5th Foundation Day celebrations in New Delhi, Shah will unveil projects aligning with the Prime Minister's vision of achieving prosperity through cooperation. Key actions include inaugurating and transferring hundreds of massive grain storage godowns as part of the ambitious world's largest grain storage scheme. Furthermore, he will introduce multiple cutting-edge digital platforms, such as a geotagging mobile application and a centralized core banking system named Sahakar CBS. An innovative conversational AI platform for urban cooperative banks will also be heavily featured during the monumental event. Vocabulary: unveil, verb, 발표하다, 베일을 벗기다. The tech company will finally unveil its new flagship smartphone tomorrow. Groundbreaking, adjective, 획기적인, 신기원을 이룬. The scientist received a Nobel Prize for her groundbreaking research in genetics. Cooperative, adjective, 협동해, 협동조합에. The local farmers formed a cooperative group to sell their fresh produce directly. Align with, phrasal verb, 와 부합하다, 일치하다. The manager's new business strategy perfectly aligns with our long-term company goals. Prosperity, noun, 번영, 풍요. Continuous economic growth brought unprecedented prosperity to the small nation. Inaugurate, verb, 개소하다, 취임시키다. The mayor will inaugurate the newly built public library this coming Friday. Cutting edge, adjective, 최첨단. The hospital is fully equipped with cutting-edge medical technology for quick diagnoses. Conversational, adjective, 대화해, 대화형해. The customer service chatbot is designed to be highly conversational and friendly. 시사용어 해설, cooperative sector, 협동조합 부문. 개인이나 작은 단체들이 모여 경제적 이익을 공동으로 추구하는 조직, 농협, 수협 등을 뜻합니다. 인도처럼 1차 산업, 농업 등 종사자가 많은 나라에서는 국가 식량 안보와 서민 경제를 지탱하는 매우 중요한 역할을 합니다.